The making of the Mark was rough. Recording it twice, that was challenging. We actually recorded the entire album once, spent a few months on it, and ended up the label actually turned it away and said they didn't like the production. It wasn't well enough, so it wasn't good enough. So they actually asked us to go again, record the entire album again, and we had to do that, go through that process with their producer, and I think it turned out better overall. But as I talked about in the other segment, the tuning issues kind of forced me to sing in a much lower range than I normally do, and it was kind of on the spot. I had one full day, just one day, to record all the vocals, backing vocals, everything. And it was a shock and a surprise to me, the tuning issues. We'd been playing for months live in a certain tuning, in a higher tuning, and now all of a sudden I was singing down here instead of here, and so it was an immediate adjustment. When I listen to it now, there are songs honestly, to this day, there are songs I just have to push the skip button, and not because I don't like the song, but because the tuning drives me crazy, because I know live that we sound so much better than that. And so I mean, it wasn't all bad. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of that album. It was innovative. It was creative. I think we accomplished our goal in general as far as being a unique band. We formed a buzz. We got a good buzz going. We got some fans, especially from the Mortification tour. That was great. So I don't have any regrets. Every musician goes back on an old album and wishes they could do something different. I mean, I don't care how good it is or who you are. It's just the way it is. Well, the rise, the fall, the rebirth. Well, after not stepping foot in the studio as a band for many years, it was interesting. It was exciting at first. It was a little bit stressful. We had some issues there as well, different types of issues. We won't go all into that. It was a little challenging, but it was also exciting to know that we were finally fulfilling that sophomore album that we thought was going to come out years earlier. The Rise, the Fall, the Rebirth is a very different album because our second album was originally going to be called Peace, Love, and Hypocrisy, and it was actually going to be a much heavier album. But after that, after the band fell apart in 2005 without making that record, by the time we reunited in 2009 and discussed doing this album, the Rise, the Fall, by that time we had written so many things from 2001 to 2005. So we just decided to take what we thought was the best songs from that time, from those different time periods, from those 4 to 5 years, and we decided to basically just say, okay, let's take the best of what we got and let's make an album with that. And it just happened to turn out that a lot of those songs were more melodic songs, like Never and Paradox and some of those. It wasn't that we tried to make an album that wasn't quite as heavy. I think this album is a little more melodic overall than the Mark Bleeds Through. I think that's how they differ. But it's still bio. It's still different styles. It's still unpredictable. It's still a good combination of melody and heaviness and anger and frustration, sorrow, all those different things, kind of, meaningful lyrics, powerful songs. So it's still very bio.
All right. Can you tell us some of your fondest memories and experiences with BioGenesis, whether it be touring, studio, whatever they may be?
As far as my favorite memories, I'm going to have to agree with the guys. The tour with Mortification was probably the fondest memory for Bio. Me personally, I remember the first night of that tour. We were in Minnesota playing at Sunshine Fest, and I just remember turning around and just seeing a sea of people. And I remember we opened up with the title track, The Mark Bleeds Through, and I just remember everybody just headbanging in unison with that rhythm, and just a sea of people doing that. And I remember just seeing a lot of crowd surfing and everything. There was so much energy. It was so powerful, and we were swamped after that show by people rushing to buy our CD from us. And that was the same year we were in HM Magazine, had a full article there, and it was great times. I would have to say overall that was probably my fondest memory. Well, Jacob's Dream is, a whole different entity than BioGenesis, obviously. And in BioGenesis, I'm kind of the founder and all that, so it's kind of play a different role. With Jacob's Dream, it's a whole different story, obviously. Being able to be on Metal Blade Records with them, and going across seas and going to Germany, playing in Mexico, and also playing in Puerto Rico a couple times, which famously I met my wife. She was a Jacob's Dream fan in Puerto Rico, and she now lives here with me, and we have a beautiful 3-year-old daughter named Zariah. And so nobody can say that metal music doesn't bring about good things, because it does. That being said, working with Jacob's Dream has been a really awesome experience. I've been able to get out there. I've also kind of plugged some of my other projects along the way. Another band I was in, Human Paradox, which is where I got to know Darren Moore, who came famously from the band Legacy, who was on Nightmare Records. He's also known for his Shots from Hell instructional DVDs. He's really awesome at what he does, but he's an even better person. And I love working with Darren. He's a great guy. I've worked with him for 6 years in Human Paradox. We had some great live gigs with that band. That's a band that really deserves a record deal and deserves to be a lot more recognized than they are. And very powerful band. I mean, every bit as powerful as Bio, no doubt about it. So that's been my experience. It's been all great with that. I realize that this is a day and age where a lot of people are trying to do things on their own. There are various reasons for that, and I understand that. But to me, it's a lot like philosophy. It really is a philosophical thing. It's kind of where you want to go and how you want to get there. And I understand that some people are against labels nowadays and they want to go independent. Personally, I'm not a big fan of it. The reason why is because it takes a lot more work than 4 or 5 guys have the time to do usually, or even the know-how in many cases. A lot of these labels like Metal Blade, being able to experience that, they actually have people in an office, that do a lot of work for you and put you in magazines. And the labels, they pay the artist for doing the artwork. They pay for the duplication of the discs themselves. They pay for so many things, and as well as giving you, assuming you get a fair deal, they give you a cut as well. And I think that's better than trying to make 100% profit but only selling 1,000 CDs out of your basement. That's just me personally. Everybody looks at it differently, and I suppose if you're Metallica, you could probably get away with that very easily. You could probably pay your neighbor to do all the work for you. But when you're a smaller band and you're not as big, you have guys that work day jobs and work really hard just like everybody else, and they have a passion for making albums, and they have a fan base out there eagerly awaiting. I just think, me personally, I think the label experience is much better. I just want to say, no one is closer to James Riggs than me. We go way back, way before Bio. I'm thinking 13 years old. The first band I actually tried to recruit him in a band when I was 13. And then a few years later, he was actually in a band with me called Sanitarium. The drummer was a Metallica freak, and he's the one that named the band. So yeah, we go way back, and that's how I knew where to find James when I got the idea to form Bio. Man, I love James. He has absolutely helped shape the sound and image of BioGenesis to what it is and what it was. And we miss him. We're gonna miss him. He's great. He's a great guy. He's funny to be around. He's hilarious. He's insanely talented. It just got to a point where, you know, as the years go by, circumstances change. He's in a place in his life right now where, you know, we feel that it's best that he focuses on himself and his life, and where we do the same as a band. And Darren Moore was the perfect guy to fill those big shoes, no doubt difficult and big shoes to fill. Darren is very professional. He's a great guy. I mean, as awesome of a guitar player as he is, he's an even better person. And haven't even had to, you know, I can't even think, with Human Paradox over the last 6 years, I can't even remember the slightest debate or really argument or anything, and that's incredible, man. I mean, he shows up on time. He's ready to work. He's ready to rock, man. So he's bio through and through. He fits the band like a glove, and also he's able to keep what the bio fans know as bio. He's able to keep that going, but also bring something of his own to the table and kind of add to that, like a nice big soup, you know, big tasty soup. So you know, we're moving forward, guys and girls. Bio is back. We're going to go play some shows. We're excited about the Rise, the Fall, the Rebirth, but we're even more excited about another album. And we're hoping, we're crossing our fingers here, but we're hoping to have an album in less than 2 years from now. So that's not a guarantee, but that is what we're shooting for. We are developing ways to record here at our own home base, which we didn't have in the past. That's going to help us a lot, and to eliminate some of the recording issues we had in the past with the band. And it's going to be great. We hope to see you out there live, and the four of us, we're ready to rock.